Durwood Zaelke. He is the founder and the president of the Institute of Governance and Sustainable Development. Joins me now from Sharm El-sheikh. Durwood, always a pleasure to talk to you. All right, I want to go back a year to COP26 in Glasgow. I mean, climate ambition was underwhelming, and the pledges fell short of the commitments that were needed to sort of limit the temperature increases to 1.5 degrees Celsius. I mean, is it likely that we're going to get more concrete steps? Are countries going to be able to dedicate more funding? Because COP27 is taking place against the backdrop of multiple crises, and they're all competing for attention.
Yes. So we need fast action, both to cut the emissions of the climate warming pollutants. We need fast action to prepare adaptation and resilience. And we need significantly more money to do both of these things. Now, keep an eye on Prime Minister Mia Mottley from Barbados, who is probably the most articulate champion for the Loss and Damage Fund. She's arguing that the world should put at least $500 billion a year for the next 20 years into climate mitigation and loss and damage. And this would include using the International Monetary Fund and their special drawing rights to put that money together. So there is the possibility that this meeting in Sharm El-sheikh will produce more than the usual that hasn't been very good. But it's an uphill battle. And one other thing that we should all keep an eye on is whether the global methane pledge, which was made last year, is going to be strengthened further with more countries signing on. This includes whether China will keep to its side deal on methane with the United States. Will India decide it's time for them to join the pledge? And the other major economies all have to get behind cutting methane, which is the single biggest and fastest bite that we can take out of the climate problem. So I would look for those things in the coming 2 weeks. Tomorrow and the next day will be the high-level segment with heads of state. The next day on Wednesday will be the finance day, and we'll get some indication how this will go.
I want to ask you about this planned $500 billion loss and damage fund, because I think one of the countries that's going to be at the front of the line is Pakistan. I mean, they contribute to less than 1% of the global emissions, and we all know what happened 2 months ago. I mean, 33 million people underwater, billions in dollars of damage. I mean, there needs to be attention for those countries who are suffering the most, yet contributing the less footprint in terms of carbon emissions.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Pakistan is a poster child right now. There are 33 million people who are struggling. They're going to lose at least 2 planting seasons. So agriculture will be damaged. And that can lead to food shortages, which prolong the problem. People will get malaria and other diseases because of the flooding. But they're not the only country. They're just the most recent. I mean, we've seen the floods in China. We've seen the drought in the Horn of Africa that's now going into its 5th year. We see famine stalking the world because of the extreme weather events that have been knocking out agriculture. So this should be the moment where the world both wakes up to the need for loss and damage, but also to how to mitigate future loss and damage. And that means finding a way to cut climate emissions, especially methane and the other non-CO2 short-lived super pollutants, as fast as possible.
Fast action is needed. All right. Durwood Zaelke, thank you very much for joining us here on TRT World. Always enjoy talking to you. Thank you.